Everyone thought the tattoos were just old ink, until the Navy SEAL asked the one question no one had dared to. And in that split second, the entire cafe forgot how to breathe. The confrontation began before anyone even realized the tension had entered the room. It was late morning, dust drifting through the sunlit windows of a roadside cafe, when a young Navy SEAL, broad-shouldered, confident, still wearing the remnants of morning training, noticed the elderly man sitting alone at the corner table. The old man's arms were covered in faded tattoos, the kind that looked less like decoration and more like stories carved into skin. The SEAL smirked, stepped closer, and asked loudly enough for the entire room to hear, "Why do you have so many tattoos, old man?" Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. At first, the cafe fell silent. A spoon clattered against a cup, and someone near the window shifted uncomfortably. The young SEAL expected a laugh, maybe a quirky explanation, something light-hearted. Instead, the old man didn't raise his eyes. His fingers merely tightened around his coffee cup until the faint tremor in his hand steadied. There was a heaviness in the air now, quiet, measured, almost like the moment before a storm decides which direction it will strike. The SEAL leaned in again, trying to provoke a reaction. His teammates snickered from a booth nearby, nudging each other, whispering assumptions. But the old man remained still, almost carved from the same sunlight that fell across him. And then, slowly, he looked up. His eyes clear, unshaken, impossibly calm, held the young soldier in place. The SEAL felt it first, that strange instinctive shift inside him. A warning, a recognition, a pull. He didn't know why, but he suddenly felt as if he were standing before someone he should have saluted. "What's the matter?" the SEAL asked, trying to regain control of the moment. "Run out of room to add more." A few customers gasped. A woman at the counter whispered, "Leave him alone," but the SEAL's pride was louder than her voice. The old man took a breath, a long one, a breath that sounded like it had traveled through decades of dust, smoke, and battlefields. The cafe seemed to lean in with him. "You want to know why I have so many tattoos?" he said quietly. The SEAL nodded. The old man pushed up his sleeve, revealing a row of symbols so worn they looked burned into his skin. "These," he said, "are names. Each one belongs to someone I promised I'd come home for." A ripple of shock moved through the room. He pointed to another cluster of ink, coordinates etched with surgical precision. "These are places where my men fell, places I carried them out from. Or, places I couldn't." The SEAL swallowed hard, but the old man wasn't finished. He tapped a faded emblem on his forearm. "And this is the unit that never made the news. Not because we failed, but because we did the things no one wanted to talk about. The missions that had no glory, only loss." For the first time, the SEAL's bravado cracked. His teammates no longer smirked. Someone outside stopped mid-step, drawn by the sudden silence inside. The old man paused, eyes drifting toward the bright parking lot, where sunlight shimmered across car roofs like reflections off water. "I didn't get these tattoos to look tough," he said. "I got them to remember the ones who never got to grow old." The SEAL's jaw tightened. He had asked the question to challenge a stranger. He didn't expect to be humbled. The cafe felt warmer now, the light gentler, as if the day itself was honoring the man's truth. And in that quiet awe, the SEAL did something none of his teammates expected. He straightened, he stepped back, and he whispered, "Sir, I'm sorry." The old man nodded once, accepting the apology without triumph. Only understanding. Because in the end, the tattoos weren't stories of darkness at all, they were stories of love. Because true honor never fades, it lives on in those who carry it forward, and sometimes the brightest truths reveal themselves under the clearest morning sun. If this story moved you, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories just like this.